Mac has had the privilege of being able to work with Alice Wolf for 2 decades. She's devoted her career, as you heard Speaker DeLeo talk about and others, to be a champion for educational opportunity and civil rights for those who are not always heard. Children at risk with disabilities, the LGBT community, women, immigrants, people of color, and her compassion for those in need and her strong commitment to right wrongs is rooted in her own story. She was an immigrant fleeing from the Nazis in Europe in the 1930s, and she had arrived in America as a young child, not speaking a word of English. And she felt in school the painful stigma of being an outsider and of growing up in poverty. And as we know, she obviously persevered and prevailed, but what's unique about her is how she used her own experience to better understand the obstacles that are faced by others. She began her career in public service as a mother and served on the PTA, was elected to the school committee, as you heard. She championed community involvement in decision-making. She crafted the first racial desegregation plan in the city of Cambridge. She was ahead of her time as an elected official in Cambridge, a progressive voice and champion of human rights, marriage equality. I first met Alice in the late 1990s, in that period that Speaker DeLeo was talking about. We were leading efforts to defend the state special education law when it was under attack, and as you heard, it was Alice Wolf and Speaker DeLeo who were there fighting the fight against amazing obstacles and very successfully. I know from the first time I met her that she was someone who would deeply, deeply understand the discriminatory barriers faced by children with disabilities, and that she would always fight tenaciously with skill and brilliance, which is why she has such an amazing track record getting so many laws passed. Alice will always stand up for what is right and is just, and she's had a huge impact improving educational opportunities for thousands of children in the Commonwealth, as you'll hear from Janine.
It was only a few years after she defended the special education laws when Alice again partnered with MAC. Led by our colleague, Susan Cole, Alice was able to get a new alternative education bill to include funds enabling schools to pilot innovative efforts to become trauma sensitive. But between the bill being passed and the law being enacted, all of her work was under threat of coming undone. The governor at the time removed the section about trauma-sensitive schools. Alice would not have that. She stood up before the entire House and explained how, because educators misunderstood trauma-related behaviors as willful, that children were actually being hurt and unfairly disciplined. Her call on the House floor to restore the Trauma-Sensitive Schools grant program led to an ovation and unanimous approval, and the Senate followed the lead to revote the language back into the budget. That is leadership. But Alice wasn't done supporting students at risk for being excluded unfairly from school. She was concerned mostly about the students most affected, low-income students, students of color, ELL students, and students with disabilities. And so with my predecessor, Tom Mila, Alice's skillful leadership in the legislature led to the passage in 2012 of what is now known as Chapter 222, which protects the rights of children from being unfairly excluded from school. The Chapter 222 Coalition continues to meet and advocate with the State Department of Education to monitor the law's implementation. And Alice is right there with us. As a senior policy advisor at MAC 2 days a week, she guides the coalition with her wisdom and deep knowledge of public policy to assure that children are protected by the new law. We honor Alice tonight for an extraordinary lifetime of being a champion for our children, a mentor to many who have taken up the mantle of public service, including Representative Marjorie Decker of Cambridge, who is in the room tonight, and who has served as an aide in Alice's office when she was a state representative, and a longtime partner in MAC's disability legislative initiatives. We'd like to ask Representative Marjorie Decker of Cambridge to please come up to the podium. Alice, it is our pleasure to present you this award on behalf of MAC. The award reads, "With pride, we honor the Honorable Alice Wolfe for outstanding civic leadership and a lifetime of dedication to being a voice for the vulnerable among us."